Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mr. Know It All Reactions Radio Show Live. I'm your show host, the one and only, the electric, the most energetic, the number one guy that's going to give you guys some great content for today. I go by the name of Mr. Know It All Reactions. Give it up.
He's got his own money. And baby, when I tell you he's got his own money, I mean the boy has got his own money.
You understand me, you smooth talking son of a bitch? Do you understand?
And you could have been anywhere, but you decided to be here with me and to come and see me.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Boy, I tell you, man, I can't win for losing. But anyway, hey, you know what? Happy late Mother's Day. Now it's better late than never. And I promise you, I am definitely apologetic that I did not get to spend time with you all last Thursday as things that was going on and whatnot, but I am here today. And I know it's what 2 days, 2 days late for Mother's Day, but here it is. I'm in the flesh right now. And I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, to you ladies, if you have any children, happy Mother's Day, even though it's late. Happy Mother's Day. I hope everything went well for you all over the weekend. I hope you got, you say hello to your mothers and you spend time with your mothers, your grandparents, any female that means something very dear to you, especially to you. I hope everything went well. I end up calling my mom. So my mom she doesn't celebrate Mother's Day. She doesn't do that. That's just not her thing. So I called her up and I said, hey, mama, happy Mother's Day. You know what my mother told me? I quote, I don't celebrate no Mother's Day. I stopped celebrating Mother's Day years and years ago. She just not, she's like, it's a pagan holiday. And, she goes on that type of tirade there or whatever. But I said, Mom, I know every day is Mother's Day. I get it. I definitely understand that. But, even though you don't celebrate it, and I don't celebrate it neither, just being honest with you. But I was still able to, hear my mother's voice and say happy Mother's Day. And I love my mother and things like that or whatnot. So it was just, the weekend was just pretty good. And I saw a lot of people on social media taking pictures of their family and, and hanging out with their parents, their mothers. And it was just a beautiful sight. So I really, really enjoyed that a whole lot. So nevertheless, my day ones, again, I thank you guys for the love and support and the adulations. Thank you all for holding me down and supporting the stream, the live stream. This whole thing cannot be possible without you all. Now to my newcomers. Welcome to the kitchen, man. Welcome to the platform. All right. So I want you to get yourself well in tune with the day ones today. Get yourself acquainted. All right. Go in the refrigerator. You're welcome. Come on in. Just don't be nervous. Don't be shy. Come on inside. Go get some refreshments. Once you get your refreshments, come back and mingle with the day ones and myself. All right. Now, it does cost you, okay? It does, just a little bit. I just need just a little participation from you, all right? And the only thing I need you to do is this. This is the price of it. This is the price for admission to be able to watch the platform, okay? Just go to my social media platforms on, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. You can find me all over. Just hit Mr. Know It All Reactions and subscribe or follow, like, share. Hit the notification bell. You do all those things. And you know what? That's the entrance. That's the price you have to pay. It's free 99. It ain't going to cost you not one dime. Oh, man, boss. That's boss. It's free 99. It ain't going to cost you one dime. Man, look at that. Boss. So, but, that's pretty much all you have to do. Now, pay attention to the screen here because I do have a call-in line as well. So you can definitely, if you want to call in, you see the screen, the ticker here. That is the ticket for you able to call into the show And also, I do have my platforms if you want to donate and help the show grow. I definitely, I'm just telling you guys that in advance. I'm saying thank you in advance as well for any type of donations that's been coming to the show itself. So I appreciate that. But anyway, the call-in number, you see it, it's going to be 605-313-5745. And the access code is going to be 777-8931#. All you got to do is call that number. I will definitely see it on my end here. And, you'll be able to fire off your questions, your concerns. You'll be able to give your shout outs. And if you want to play the Dirty Dozens, I'm down for that too, because I don't run from anything. I don't run from no smoke at all. I've been telling everybody shortly here lately, I got some things in the backpack that I would definitely want to get off. So I'm the guy for the job. If that's what you need to do, let's get ready to rock and roll. So anyway, I got some wonderful, wonderful, wonderful topics tonight. And I'm going to do things a little bit different today. Because, I am like maybe 6-7 subscribers away from 1,000 subscribers, and I'm starting to teeter top with the whole monetization type of with the platform itself. So I am not going to play any copyrighted music at all. And I know that's what you come here for, to listen to the music, whatever. But I don't want to. I'm just getting away from the whole copyright strikes and things like that, whatever, because YouTube is very sensitive. Facebook is very sensitive. All these platforms are very sensitive with using copyrighted music. So I am just not going to play any copyrighted music, but I did make up for the music where I do have some videos and we're going to talk these different conversations or whatever. So we're going to definitely hold it down. All right. If you want to call in, like I said, and participate, you can definitely do that. But yeah, that's how we're going to do it now. So anyway, that all being said, let's get to the first topic of conversation. All right, let's go. Let's do it.
There are known knowns and that there are known unknowns, but there's also unknown unknowns. Things we don't know that we don't know.
Boy, I tell you, hold on, give me a minute. Let me do something right fast. I got to put in my music, my background music. So let's do this. Let's check this out. Tell me what you guys think. There we go. Okay. So NBA, you all are on deck. Now, people are saying that there's a conspiracy that's going on with the NBA, and you know what? I'm here for it. So I'm going to go ahead and put on the tinfoil goofy hat, and let's talk about what's going on with the NBA. So yesterday, the NBA had its draft, and the Dallas Mavericks had won the NBA draft, and they were in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. Now, Cooper Flag, he's the number one recruit that's coming out of college basketball right now. He plays out of Duke. Guy is an immaculate talent, generational talent as well. But when the Dallas Mavericks got involved in the lottery, they only had like a 1.8% chance of winning the lottery out of 15 teams that was in the lottery. So anyway, Dallas Mavericks ended up winning the number one pick for the 2025 NBA draft lottery in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes, lottery draft here. Now, people are saying, you know what, man, what in the world is going on with the NBA, whatever, because with the Dallas Mavericks, number one, is because Dallas Mavericks got rid of their number one star, all right? And here's what my theory is with all this, okay? And I'm trying to see if I can put all these moving pieces together, these moving parts together. So I'm going to start off with this. The NBA is hurting right now with ratings. We're talking about their drop, almost 10-15% as far as like with the NBA ratings on television, with their sponsorships and everything of that magnitude and whatnot. So they aren't doing well at all. So my theory is this: Adam Silver, which is the commission of the NBA. See, the Lakers, as long as when you have like your hard market team, your big market teams such as Lakers, the Boston Celtics, Chicago, New York Knicks, all these big time media, big time media markets, when those teams are thriving in the NBA makes its bread and butter off of that. So with the little small market teams like Oklahoma City Thunder, Dallas Mavericks, Utah Jazz, a lot of these teams that don't really have that really large media market, these guys can't really carry the weight of making sure the NBA is able to bring in all these different viewerships and bring all these different sponsors and things of that magnitude. So with the NBA, their ratings and their the viewership and everything and their sponsorship is dwindling and dropping. I believe that Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, got a hold of the Mavericks and say, hey, look, you know what? Yes, LeBron is the face of the Lakers, but he's on his way out the door here. How about if you guys go ahead and make a deal with the Lakers, send Luka Doncic over there, you bring back AD to the Mavericks. But here's the other hand, because this is the right hand telling them, giving the Mavericks the gameplay on what to do, so that way they can help out the NBA as far as like with the ratings and everything down or whatnot. So you move Luka Doncic to the Lakers, and then you move AD to the Mavericks. But the hidden hand behind the hand is what they whisper into the Mavericks' ear, saying, "Hey, look, you know what? If we can win, you'll win as well." So how about we go ahead and just fix that NBA draft lottery? You guys interested in that new kid coming up, the new generational talent? Because you guys gave over Luka and you guys helped the NBA out a whole lot. How about we go ahead and just automatically give you that #1 draft pick for helping us out? Even though you got a 1% chance of winning the lottery, don't worry about that, Dallas. We'll get that taken care of, whatever. Because here it is. You guys helped us out as far as like getting Luka Doncic over there with the Lakers. Now you got you helping out a big media market, which is going to help the revenue of bringing more viewers and attention and everything to the NBA, because now Luka Doncic is over there with LeBron James, which LeBron James is on his way out from the NBA right now. But let's try to give LeBron James one more run at it as far as like getting him a ring. And so that way we can put all our eyes on that. So the NBA has conjured up this whole entire Adam Silver, because everything is about the brand. It's all about the NBA brand. And whatever, and by any means necessary, as long as if the NBA can eat, all the other teams can definitely eat as well. So Nico Harris, Dallas Maverick organization and whatnot, they saying, okay, cool. You know what? As long as we'll go ahead and put our head on the chopping block, for the best interest of the league. But remember, when we do this is what you're gonna have to do for us. Whatever, make sure that we are eligible to be able to get that #1 draft pick. But guess what, you all? That's not even enough. Because guess what the NBA has done for next season coming up? Everybody want to be like Mike. I want to be like Mike. Michael Jordan is coming back to the NBA, ladies and gentlemen. Now, what? Michael Jordan is about what? 63 years old, 62, 63 years old. Now, he's not coming back to try to put on a uniform. Now, that'll be definitely redundant. He's not taking no lead steroids like LeBron James is. Did I say that? I sure did. But no, he's not coming back to play play for a team. He's not doing that. He's going to be coming back as another microphone journalist for NBC. So he's going to be having his periodic spots with NBC. And is it NBC or ABC? It's one of the 3-letter networks. So anyway, Michael Jordan is going to be making his appearance on TV, talking, sports on TV during particular games and things of that magnitude. So this right here is a move. This is a move from the NBA and from Adam Silverman for them to get Michael Jordan on, because Michael Jordan, he's going to definitely bring a certain type of crowd with him. Everybody loved MJ and what he stand for and what he did in the league years and years ago. So now they insert Michael Jordan, and now Jordan's going to be having this type of crowd that's going to be following him. They are in it just trying to get the numbership, the viewership, to get the ratings and everything back up. And they're hoping that Michael Jordan come to the NBA to save the NBA once again because of his name, his image, and his likeness. Now, we don't understand and we don't know how much this whole Michael Jordan coming to the NBA is going to cost. But we're talking about MJ here. MJ worth how many billions of dollars? So for a fact he don't need the money at all. So you know there was something in it for MJ to have to come back out the rocker chair, out of retirement, to come back and deal with talking sports and being inside the arena and talking, traveling and going to different teams and whatnot. Nah, man, MJ got some special rules and regulations that come with that, because they're saying to MJ, well, you ain't got to do every game. You ain't got to do that. Just do some games. Just give a little of your time, because we need help. We've already established getting Luka Doncic over there to the Mavericks. I mean, to the Lakers. We got that going on. Now they got Boston still inside the playoffs right now. You got New York still in the playoffs right now. So the NBA's trying every move that they can to build the brand back up. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen, Dallas Mavericks fans, don't be too happy about all this or whatever, because here's what I'm going to tell you, and this is just me and my tinfoil Kofi theory hat on. The Mavericks might not be in Dallas for long. Let me tell you why. Mark Cuban, who had majority ownership of the Mavericks, he's now a minority or ownership of the Mavericks. But the majority owner of the Mavericks out of Las Vegas. Now, mind you, Las Vegas, they just got a football team over there, a year or two ago? How long the Las Vegas Raiders been over there now? Because remember, at one point, they were talking about, a lot of sports franchises were saying they didn't want nothing to do with having a sports team in Las Vegas, because of the temptation of their players might have to, they might end up, it might be conflict of interest with gambling, because you can't gamble on games when you are a player of a particular franchise. So the NFL, the NBA, they were really, really terrified of that, to the point to where they weren't terrified of it, because they said, dang, that's a lot of money over there in Las Vegas in that type of atmosphere over there. So we're going to go ahead and do it. Damn the fact that, if one player go over there and try to, gamble on the games or whatnot, they'll chop that player and be done with that. But that's what they were originally afraid of, until Las Vegas got the Raiders over there. And so far, so good. Haven't been no issues. But back to the Dallas Mavericks, though. So the majority owners of the Dallas Mavericks, they own several casinos over there in Las Vegas. So their thing is, with all the money that they know that's there, because if they own all these casinos in Las Vegas, they know Las Vegas like the back of their hand. So that's why I say, just follow the leader here. With Mark Cuban selling his portion of the Mavericks to these owners, and Las Vegas had way more money than it is here in Dallas, Texas area. Don't be surprised, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. Dallas Mavericks going to Las Vegas. And I was also, little small birdie told me something about Mark Cuban, because Mark Cuban had bought he bought the whole city of Mustang. That's right next to my hometown of Corsicana, Texas. Give it up. Mark Cuban bought the whole city of Mustang, and allegedly he might be turning the whole city into another gambling spot, because they're supposed to be bringing gambling here in the state of Texas, in the great state of Texas. So could you only imagine what type of revenue that's going to be for Mr. Mark Cuban? Everybody going to Mustang and go gamble and things of that magnitude. So this whole thing with the NBA, man, the NBA is trying to do its best to get those ratings to where they were at, where all eyes on the NBA. But to be honest with you, with the product that's on the field and on the court, a lot of people ain't buying none of that whatsoever. So in the comment section, I want your thoughts and your opinions about the NBA. Do you guys think that the NBA draft for 2025 was rigged by Adam Silverman and whoever else that was involved in this situation here? I want to definitely read your comments about it, because I'm definitely dying to know what you guys' thoughts and opinions about that is. So we're going to keep it in sports, and we're going to talk about the next topic of discussion. Let's do it.
Said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors.
The one and only Mr. Kenyon Martin. Kenyon Martin, he is an ex-basketball player, retired basketball player. He played professionally for a numerous amount of years. And Kenyon Martin was known as the enforcer. He was more of the bully when he used to play ball in the NBA. Well, Kenyon Martin is on Gilbert's Arena's podcast, Gil's Arena, and Kenyon Martin and Nick Young had a lot to say. Kenyon Martin pretty much, I ain't gonna say pretty much, he said some mean things to Nick Young on the podcast and basically told that man to shut up. Very disrespectful and I didn't understand how they allowed Kenyon Martin to have an outburst like this towards another grown man. But I want you guys to watch this video, and I'm gonna come back with my thoughts and my opinions about it as well. So let's do this. Let's check it out.
I'm trying not to tell Nick shut the fuck up while I'm talking.
Okay.
While I'm talking,
We were talking
right?
about Greg Popovich, his legacy.
Like just fucking rude. Just nobody give a fuck about your phone. Niggas over here talking about something important.
You over here talking.
Yeah, you're about the wrong fucking thing, nigga.
And you want to talk like you on the porch.
Yeah, we talking about this man legacy.
Like all you want.
We're talking about this man legacy over here. And you fucking being disrespectful, nigga.
This is Gil's Arena presented by
Y'all look the same age, so it's
Right?
like,
Yeah, I can't say you want to make a joke. Ain't shit funny right now, nigga.
keep talking about Pop.
Ain't shit funny,
Pop.
nigga.
Shit. Let me
Everything ain't nobody want to see that dumbass shit you showing, nigga.
Don't be scared to look this way.
Like,
I'm scared, nigga.
I'm over here. Yeah, the dumbass
talk
nigga over here
about
trying to
that, like-
conduct the motherfucking show, and you over here
You
just
want to
constantly.
talk.
We're
Talk,
trying to, nigga.
talk.
Shut the fuck up.
Damn, I don't have to shut up. I'm
Why
showing
you
him
talking?
something.
You do.
I
nigga.
didn't say nothing. He said something.
Shut the
You
fuck
said
up.
something. I don't have to shut
You the
up.
one niggas can hear.
Now
Ain't
I'm not
nobody
gonna
hear
shut
him.
up. Now I'm
Can't
never
nobody
gonna
hear him.
shut up. I'm never gonna shut up now.
Sorry, Pop.
You can pop
the
a
whole
smoke a
time.
little.
Pop,
We
thank
got
you for the
smoke
basketball
Pop.
guys.
Can we get a little smoke for Pop?
Hey,
Pop with the basketball.
mad for no reason.
Nigga over trying to have a real conversation.
All
Nigga,
right,
shut
you
up.
can have it, nigga. I don't have
Trying
to
to
shut
shut
up.
up.
I didn't say nothing. Don't
Fucking
tell me.
child.
Shut up,
You're a
nigga.
fucking child. Shut
All
up
right.
sometimes.
That's why we're
Shut up, nigga.
Nigga, shut up.
we are showing love to
Shut
Greg
up,
Nigga, don't
Popovich.
fucking
Shut up.
shut
You shut up.
All right,
Shut
man.
up.
At the end of the show,
We are showing love. We are trying to show love. Show love to Greg Popovich.
talking to you, directly
All
to
right,
you.
stop talking to
Nick,
me like that. All right.
talking to you, nigga.
All right. And I'm
You ain't gonna talk to
and I'm
talking to you, nigga.
and I'm gonna keep talking, nigga.
Okay, enough is enough. So y'all saw that video, man. You know what was heartbreaking about that whole situation there? Because Nick Young, he's a former basketball player as well. He's retired. But they were upset. Kenyon Martin was upset because he was having a discussion about Greg Popovich. Greg Popovich, he's a retired basketball coach. He just retired from the San Antonio Spurs. Greg Popovich is a white guy, white man. And this was all over having you felt that Nick Young was disrespecting you because you was talking about Greg Popovich, a white guy. You know, you felt interrupted. You know, that's how it to me, it looked a little goofy. But all this smoke, all this confusion and fighting over a white guy, old white guy. Why us as black folks? Why would it come? We come together and have a discussion, and we fight. We fight over Caucasian people. That really bothers me a whole lot to my soul. I'm just being honest with you. It really does. And I hate to say it like that or whatever, man, but we have that you don't talk about my master kind of mentality. That's how it looked to me. And you know, he may have felt like he was annoyed by, you know, Nick Young arguing with him, you know, cutting him off or whatever, man. But to me, it looks like you upset because you talking about your Caucasian coach that you know, your Caucasian buddy who you cool with. That's how it looked to me. And I'm saying to myself, man, it's just downright crazy how we will do everything up on the power to protect Caucasian or white people, we'll knock each other down, have a, talk to us real rude and crazy because you talk about Master like that. I just think that's really, really odd. Ain't nobody have it. Don't nobody see any type of issue wrong with that. We got two strong brothers here on a platform for the whole world to actually see this and view it. And you tell another man to shut up because he interrupted you because you talking about your coach, your friend, this white guy? Nah, man. That's what part of the game is that we do that? And who are you, Kenyon Martin, for you to sit there and think you the boogeyman or something, whatever? Yeah, you was known as a bully when you played the game. Yeah, that was years ago. You was an intimidating force. Anybody talk about Kenyon Martin name back in the day, they would tell you how Kenyon Martin to get up on you quick and he's a bully. But come on, man. That's not you no more. Hopefully it's not you. Hopefully you're not one of those old fools that go out here and pick fights and tell another grown man to shut up, Kenyon. That's not how things go. You can't tell another grown man in front of the whole crowd and tell another grown man how he need to conduct himself, and then especially tell him to shut up, and then you specifically call his name out, and you are embarrassing him on this whole platform like that. It don't go down like that, Kenyon. It don't go down like that at all. I think Nick Young, the way he handled that, I think Nick Young he handled that whole thing great, because anybody else would have definitely been on Kenyon Martin head top quick. Because no grown man, I don't care what you think about them at all or whatnot. No grown man is going to allow anybody to disrespect them openly, behind doors, in public, and behind, it's not going to go down at all, period. And I thought the way that Nick Young handled this whole situation with addressing that, he stood his ground, but you can tell Nick Young really didn't want to go there with Kenyon because he's an elder. Kenyon's been around for a while, but to be honest with you, Kenyon looked like a weenie for him doing what he had done, how he handled this whole situation. And he also looked like he, I'm just being honest, and I hate saying this, y'all. I really do, because I love us. But he started to look like you know what I'm talking about, a Sambo there. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest with you. I hate saying that. But he got that's Sambo-ish to me. For you to do what you're doing and whatnot, as far as like want to protect. And how dare you say something while I'm talking about my coach and so on and so forth, for you to do all that. And was about ready to throw down with this kid. That's the problem I have with this whole thing. See, that's the reason why a lot of youngsters, when it comes to looking at the old heads and the elders and the OGs or whatever, they don't have no respect for them at all, because a lot of these OGs, they walk around here some fools as well. Fools. How can you sit up there and want to try to help and guide and give understanding and a lot of wisdom to the youngsters when a lot of these older people, they ain't even got no wisdom to give to them? Because a lot of these older gentlemen, they want to be like the youngsters, or they look up to the youngsters. I don't get it, man. I just really don't. And it's very unfortunate that this whole thing had transpired on live television. You guys understand that this is really, really bad. It's a bad look. And I really wish that Gilbert Arenas, since he's the host of that show, that when he saw how Kenyon is, because Kenyon, he's got aggressive plenty of times on that show. If he saw Kenyon getting worked up like that, somebody should have, they could have cut the show off for like a TV break or something, so they cool Kenyon down, because a lot of people feel some kind of way about the way Kenyon Martin reacted to Nick Young and saying what he said. And I'm one of those people, like, what, Kenyon, you were wrong for that. You don't do that to another grown man. You just don't do it at all. So in the comment section, I want your guys' thoughts and opinions about this video that you saw with Kenyon Martin. Do you guys think that Kenyon Martin was wrong for how he talked with Nick Young? Do you guys think that Nick Young handled this situation well? I want in the comment section, I want you guys to tell me your thoughts and opinions about everything we just witnessed and we saw here. Me personally, Kenyon Martin was dead wrong. K-Mark, come on, man, we got to do better. You, as one of the OGs and one of the retired NBA players, you had a great career. yeah, you can't behave in that type of fashion. That's just not cool at all. So that's my thoughts about that. So that being said, y'all, we're gonna move it on to the next topic of discussion. Let's get it.
There are known knowns and that there are known unknowns, but there's also unknown unknowns. Things we don't know that we don't know.
So the Tyree Nichols. Oh, hold on, give me a minute. Give me a minute. Hold on, give me a minute. So the Tyree Nichols trial. Oh, hold on, give me a minute. Sorry.
Jury.
Sorry. Okay. So the Tyree Nichols trial has started. Well, it's over with. And they found all the police officers that was involved in that unaliving of that brother, Tyree Nichols. They found them not guilty on all charges. Now, 2 of the police officers that was involved, it was a total of 5 police officers. 2 of the police officers pled to a lesser charge, and they pled guilty to it. But the other 3 officers, they had went to trial because they were saying they were not guilty. So they went to trial, they took it to trial, and they found the officers not guilty. So I'm going to play this video, and then I'm going to come back with my commentary about this. So we got to definitely discuss this one.
Having found that this is a unanimous verdict. The court will read the verdict as follows. In indictment 2300241, State of Tennessee versus Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith. The counsel would like to stand with their clients. The verdicts read as follows. Count 1, second-degree murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, Tadarius Bean, not guilty. Count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant, Demetrius Haley, not guilty. Count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant, Justice Smith, not guilty. Count 2. Aggravated assault, acting in concert. We, the jury, find the defendant, Tadarius Bean, not guilty. Count 2. We, the jury, find the defendant, Demetrius Haley, not guilty. Count 2. We, the jury, find the defendant, Justin Smith, not guilty. Count 3. Aggravated kidnapping with bodily injury. We, the jury, find the defendant, Tadarius Bean, not guilty. Count 3. We, the jury, find the defendant, Demetrius Haley, not guilty. Count 3. We, the jury, find the defendant, Justin Smith, not guilty.
So you heard all that. So each one of these police officers that was involved in this unaliving of Tyree Nichols, they were found not guilty on all charges. And here's how they were involved in this thing. So it was a total of 5 black police officers. And they pulled Tyree over on a traffic stop. Now, apparently, it was alleged that Tyree Nichols led them on a pursuit in a vehicle. So the next thing you know, to the point to where he ended up getting out of his vehicle and police had to go and chase this guy down. Well, when they chased him down, they said that Tyree Nichols was hyped up on some type of medicine, some type of drugs, and they couldn't wrestle with this guy. They said this guy was strong as an ox, which they led them to believe that he was hyped up on something. So all 5 of these officers were trying to subdue this guy. And from the cameras that they had, from the body-worn cameras they were wearing, they were doing way more than trying to subdue this guy. They were throwing punches and blows and kicks, and they were twisting on. They did everything up under the sun to try to get this guy to take care of whatever, but they overdid it. The amount of force that they used to take down Tyree Nichols was to the full extent to where they end up unaliving this man. And then when they did that, they called for medical help for the guy, but he's sitting, you can see him sitting Mr. Nichols he's sitting on the ground, slumped over next to the police car. And these officers that was involved with subduing this man, they're all huddled around talking about what transpired, what happened, and so on and so forth or whatever. And you can hear some people chuckling and all that or whatever. This was a bad deal. The city of Memphis Police Department, when they got those 2 officers to plead guilty to a lesser charge, that's exactly what they needed for them to find all these other officers not participants, not willing to participants into this whole thing with them, because the other 2 officers are the one who said, yes, we gonna plead to this with them, because those are the 2 officers that allegedly had did the most damage to the guy. But the thing about it is if 2 officers are on the scene doing massive damage to the guy, and these other 3 officers are there seeing that however they got involved with it, they all should be charged with unaliving this man. You just can't do 2 of them and then let the other 3 go. Nobody said nothing. Nobody did anything about it. Everybody was on the same page with how everything transpired with them unaliving this man. And then you go to the court system after seeing all that you had saw, all the evidence you saw there, and you found them guilty. I mean, not guilty on all charges. Where they do that at? See, this whole thing was more. This was more about, and this is just my opinion and my theory about it. This is more about the city of Memphis. This is more like Memphis don't want to say that our police department is untrained, that we're some wild animals out here. That's how it look. It's all about the perception, because you know what they say about perception is somebody's reality. So they're more concerned about how it look. If we charge all 5 officers for the unaliving of this man, that's going to start some stir up, and that's going to look a certain kind of way to the city of Memphis, to the state of Tennessee, and they can't have that going on in their police department. We just can't do it. So this is the reason why they found these guys unaliving this man not guilty on all charges, because they don't want to look a certain kind of way. Now, this is the kick about it. Right now, these guys these are state charges right now. The federal prosecution haven't even tapped nothing like this yet. So they still gonna have to go through federal prosecution about this whole thing and whatnot. And the federal department, if they don't work the way that the state does, they're a little bit more serious when it comes to prosecuting the federal department. So right now, yes, they beat the state charges or whatever, man, but now they got a whole nother ladder to climb when it comes to prosecution with the federal prosecution, federal wise. And that's what I'm going to be keeping my eyes on or whatever, because I want to see how this whole thing is going to unfold with, them finding them not guilty here on all charges. I want to see what the federal department is going to do with this. These people haven't walked away clean from this whole thing yet. But right now, this is a bad look for the city of Memphis. And I feel bad for Tyre Nichols' mother and his friends and families and loved ones that had to be in that courtroom and saw that there was no justice for their son or for their loved one or their friend or their brother, whoever he is. They got no justice there whatsoever. And it was to a point to when the city of Memphis found out that these officers was found not guilty. There were people that was working in Memphis said, you know what? There were some people that was they were letting their employers off. They were letting their workers off, saying, hey, go home, be with your family and whatnot, because we feel like this is going to be George Floyd Part 2, 2.0. That's how they felt. And mind you, Memphis is always on the first 48. Memphis is not one of the safest places to live in America. Always something going down in Memphis. So they don't play about nothing like that. Because mind you, they you still have a lot of black on black crime in Memphis. And this thing, we're talking about, we're disregarding the police department right now. But you have a lot of shootings, a lot of unalive, and you got all that going on in Memphis, Memphis, Tennessee. And now you add the police department. The biggest gangsters, the biggest gang members in the city of Memphis doing stuff like this, and then able to take it to trial and find them not guilty on all charges for unaliving somebody on. You got everything that you need on video evidence, surveillance of all of this, and nothing is done. It's hurtful when you see that the justice don't work like that at all. And I want to understand from my people, the black culture. Yes, these officers that did this were black. Police is police. Nobody stood up. Nobody said nothing about these people. None about these individuals that did this man like that. Nobody stood up and said nothing. Why is it? Because of the police department? Or do we treat it like it's black on black crime, like we always do? When it's black on black crime, we don't really protest. We don't say nothing. We don't talk about it. We might go behind closed doors and talk all day long about it, whatever. But when it comes in public, we don't say nothing. Aren't y'all tired of doing the same old thing? In your communities, nobody's speaking up, nobody's speaking out against wrongdoings inside the neighborhoods, inside our communities. You know that there's somebody that's selling big time dope on your block. You won't say nothing. Some kid done shot and he's probably a fugitive from law, hiding in somebody else's house, or somewhere in the neighborhood close by. You won't say nothing. That they selling dope next to the school in the school zone. Won't say nothing. Who's the pedophile in the neighborhood in your family? Won't say nothing. Y'all ain't tired of that? Am I preaching tonight? So it goes to say, we got to start coming out and being spoken. We need to be upfront, spoken, loud, with your chest out, with anybody doing any type of wrong inside the community. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's police, if it's a relative. If you hurt one of us, you hurt your own people, man, listen, turn their asses in. Talk, speak up, speak out, call them out. I don't care if you embarrass them or not. You do that. We got to start looking out for us. We got to start looking out, make sure that we are good and we don't fall victim to a whole lot of this wrongful things and shameful things. And we got to start speaking up and speaking out. So in the comment section below, I want y'all guys' thoughts and opinions about how y'all feel about this Tyre Nichols situation with these officers unaliving this man and found not guilty on all counts, all charges in this state trial. Want your thoughts and opinions about it, ladies and gentlemen, because I promise you, I am definitely dying to know how you all feel about all this is going on with Mr. Nichols. So that being said, let's go ahead and move it on to the next topic of the conversation. Let's get it.
There are known knowns and that there are known unknowns, but there's also unknown unknowns, things we don't know that we don't know.
So we have a story of the Clark Atlanta Dean. This was a sad story here. This one here hurt my feelings. And it bothered me a whole lot, but I want to have a discussion about it. Beautiful sister. She was a dean at a college in California, and she was unalived by the security guard. And I have the news video of this sister, and I'm gonna come back with my commentary about this one. So let's check this one out too.
Hearts are heavy tonight at Clark Atlanta University. One of their graduates who had gone on to become a college dean of a college in California was shot to death on the campus of Spartan College in Inglewood, California.
Dr. Kamisha Clark received 3 degrees, including her doctorate from Clark Atlanta University. That's where Fox 5's Angelique Proctor joins us now with the story all new at 5. Angelique?
Good afternoon to you both. So many people who knew and loved Dr. Kamisha Clark are just devastated tonight. They say clearly she was a rising star who is just gone too soon. The Clark Atlanta University School of Education just spotlighted Dr. Kamisha Clark on her accomplished career in March. This is their Instagram post about the 3-time alumnus who earned her undergraduate, master's, and educational doctorate degree from CAU and was recently promoted to the Dean of Student Affairs at Spartan College of Aeronautics and Technology in Inglewood, California. On Friday, everything changed in an instant when police say former Spartan security guard Jesse Fiegro returned to the college in a security clothes and opened fire on Dr. Clark and her assistant in what police call a targeted execution-style shooting.
I came under the lot. We were told that there was an active shooter next door and to get into safety in the shop over here.
Officers say the suspect drove off, but they found him several hours later and took him into custody.
Give great kudos to the Inglewood Police Department, our investigators, and the LAPD officers that were vigilant, took the vehicle description and took him into custody.
After 3 days of fighting, Dr. Clark succumbed to her injuries Monday. The second victim is still being treated. Those who knew her described Dr. Clark as a shining star who was driven but also had a sweet spirit. Friends also say Dr. Clark was a strong advocate against gun violence and had started a foundation here in Atlanta to fight the use of firearms called C-Squared.
This was not a random act of violence. The suspect and victims knew each other.
And again, the way they knew each other is that they all worked there at the college.
So you all heard that. So this gentleman, from what I have read, he did work. The security guard was working at Spartan College in Inglewood, and him and Dr. They knew each other. They knew each other. And they said that this guy was kind of disturbed. They said basically borderline had some mental issues going on. And he was unhappy at that particular, the job he was working, but he was unhappy with the environment that he was working in, to the point to where he ended up losing it. But he felt that they're saying that they felt that he was being mistreated and they were handling him wrong, to the point to where he ended up losing it. And when he ended up losing it, that's how he ended up hitting those two victims with the Dean of Students and also another lady that also which ends up doing this thing and whatnot. But this guy didn't have it all or whatever. And it's unfortunate that this happened to this lady who has a promising career, ahead of her. Graduate. She just graduated from Clark Atlanta University, which is in Georgia. And those people that go to that school is a HBCU. And for her, to just get promoted to being a dean of students at Spartan University in Inglewood, all those are great accomplishments. But at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, you have some situations to where you'll deal with people at these jobs and you really just don't know what they're capable of doing. So you have to be careful when you are at the workplace and you're dealing with anybody that's going on at the workplace and whatnot, because again, you don't know what's going on inside their personal life and how they'll be able to act when they come into the professional work world. You know what people are dealing with. We live in some times now where people are trying to just survive. They're trying to make ends meet. Everything is the cost of living is going up. The pay is not going up. People got a lot of stress going on in their life. So we have to be mindful and careful of situations like this. If you see signs of someone going through some things at the workplace, or they got some different, some behavior issues, or their pattern is kind of off, we got to pay attention to a lot of that stuff, whatnot, because it can be definitely detrimental to everybody's health inside the work field when you're dealing with people like this. Because I remember back in the day, you know, there was a thing that was called postal. That's what that guy did. He went postal. He couldn't take it no more, and he took matters in his own hands. But remember postal back in the late 90s, early 2000s, that was a big thing. People were stressed out, and you know, they take matters in their own hand or whatever. They might get terminated from a job, or they got a boss that's riding them real hard, or trying to, you know, show them up, or whatever the case may be. And the next thing you know, that person don't forget who treated them a certain kind of way and go in with vengeance on their mind. You know, they've been terminated. They got a pink slip right up, whatever the case may be. They got things going on in the house. You never know what people are with that trigger them. And then next thing you know, you leave one thing to another to where it's chaos and chaotic. But again, that still don't give anybody no reason to be able to, you know, go inside at the workplace and start unaliving people because of you feel some kind of way. But at the same time, again, ladies and gentlemen, with your co-workers at work, yeah, everybody can't take you know, the stress that come with the workplace. They can't take the disrespect, or they feel disrespect. They're not going to be able to take none of that. So we got to be mindful. We got to be careful when we go to these jobs, and we got to make sure, you know, we do what we need to do to make sure that, you know, we hold our end of the bargain up and treat people the way you want to be treated. You can't talk to everybody a certain kind of way. And I'm not saying that this woman did that, but from reports we're saying that this guy felt a certain kind of way when he was working at that college. He felt disrespected and so on and so forth. Well, that's what he's saying. What drove him to do what he did, which is wrong. So anyway, in the comment section, what your guys' thoughts and opinion about this video we just saw? Do you guys, you know, believe that this whole thing could have been avoided? Do you guys believe that, you know, what should happen with this gentleman that went postal inside this place? I don't know if I'm not sure if California, the state of California, have the unalive penalty there. I don't have to read into that, but you know, he unalived one person and injured another. So the unaliving penalty might not take effect if they do have it there. But anyway, I want your guys' thoughts and opinions about it in the comment section. And we do have one. Mr. Brooklyn Betty says this: I always treat people with respect regardless of what your title may be. I agree with that 1,000%. I agree with that 1,000%. Now, again, you know, I'm not siding with the gentleman and saying that this woman, you know, said something to him. That's just what he's saying. He's saying, that the job stressed him out because of God knows what, as far as like when it comes to, you know, how they would treat him at the job. So that's what made him do what he did. So anyway, we're gonna move on to the final topic of conversation. Let's go ahead and get it.
I said, close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors.
New York, Times Square. You are on the clock now. And this is the main topic of conversation. So, viral video of the big 12-foot statue of the black woman in the middle of Times Square. What's my thoughts and opinions about it? I think it's hilarious. I do have a video of it. We can watch the video, and then I'm going to come back with my thoughts and opinions about it. So let's do it.
A new statue in Times Square we're told, turning heads. It's making people not only stop and stare, but also reflect. A rare feat in the middle of one of the busiest places in the world. Zinnia Maldonado shows us why.
At 12 feet tall, in the middle of Times Square, stands a bronze sculpture of a young woman.
It's instantly stood out. It's powerful.
It's so tall and big. The sculpture, created by artist Thomas Price, was unveiled at Duffy Square last week, and in just a matter of days, it has stopped hundreds in their tracks. Who is she? Well, technically, she's whoever you want her to be.
Me being a plus-size Black woman, I kind of looking at it was just like, oh, I wonder what me as a small child would have thought looking at something like that. Representation.
The piece is is part of a series called Grounded in the Stars, which Gene Cooney, director of Times Square Art, says confronts preconceived notions of identity and representation.
To have this work here is making a statement, potentially asking questions about what we value as a city, as a society, and hopefully it's a tribute to our shared humanity.
Tourists and New Yorkers we spoke with expressed different interpretations of what she represents to them.
It's a plus size woman. I'm a plus size man. I'm African American. It's an African American woman statue. So just seeing another piece for me to stop and just have a moment with was very powerful.
If you look at the eyes, it's looking straight at something. It's focused. It's purposeful.
The sculpture proves to be a well-liked juxtaposition placed among the more traditional statues in Times Square, which is the goal, according to officials, of placing said artwork in such a significant area.
Coming from a person of color background as well, it's really nice to see something come across as like this everyday person that looks a little bit out of place. But I also think that's because of where we are standing. It might not look out of place if everything in our surrounding reflected everyday life more to us.
From Times.
Y'all saw that video. So when I first saw the video and the unveiling of this 12-foot statue woman, and I'm seeing all the hoopla about it, I'm saying to myself, why? This is a big nothing burger to me, big nothing burger. And I'm tired of all the symbolic statues that they put up to try to tell our story and who we are and what we've been through and things like that or whatever. These statues are just a nothing burger to me. You know, empty symbolism about a lot of these different statues they put up. I'm saying to myself, man, I'm tired of statues being put up. How about we actually go out and make some stuff happen and make some things move by, actually putting boots on the ground, and let's make some stuff happen or whatever, man, instead of the damn statue that's standing up ain't doing nothing for you. Give you hope. Are you kidding me? Give you hope, huh? I'd rather, man, listen, you know what? I'm not going to even say that, whatever, because I was going to definitely go all in with all that or whatever, but I'm going to keep my thoughts and opinions to myself about that. Because, a lot of people, they it's 50-50 about this whole thing. I'm leaning on the side like, you know what? It's a nothing burger to me. You talk about in the middle of Times Square. I've been there to Times Square plenty of times. I've been there to Times Square. New York City, where if you can make it anywhere, if you can make it in New York City, you can make it anywhere. This is the dream of dreams. This is New York, the Big Apple, where they have the Statue of Liberty that's standing up high and tall and mighty, and the Statue of Liberty, got the judge got the robe on, and it just looked elegant. And this is what America looks like with the Statue of Liberty. And then you put this statue here with the obese sister with her hands on her hip, giving off the type of masculine energy, with the statue. Because that's how they look at it. That's how they look at the black woman and the black man. Toxicity. Toxicity. And with the hands on the hip and full figured woman, that's how they look at us. And you heard that one woman said that it's stopping to get attention and whatnot. And the way she tried to come off, she tried to clean up what she said or whatever, man, but she's really sounding like she was trying to talk about that attention in a negative kind of way. I peeped at that. I saw that. You don't think I saw that? All in all, man, I just don't like it. I don't like it at all or whatever. I'm just tired. I'm over the statues and the empty symbolic statues and things like that. I'm over that. I'm over that. I'm over marching. I'm over politics, arguing about what master to serve. I'm just over it all. You can call me, angry Anthony or whatever you want to call me, whatever, man, but I'm just over it. I want to see some other things that's going on that can kind of, I want to see us start with us and get ourselves together and come on the same page and, for a certain cause or whatever, start out with something small and work our way up, whatever. That right, to me, that right there shows a whole lot of hope and unity. We actually doing something. I don't care if it's, 10, 20 of you, come together, maybe put your resources together and come up with an idea to do. To me, that give me hope. I don't know about y'all. That give me hope. Damn, with a statue. down with that. I don't want to hear that. So get a group of you, get a group of us coming together, and then start building some things, whatever. Start in your neighborhood, your community. Start in the household, then start in your community, in your neighborhood, start in your community, and then you start venturing out. Just building, getting good people that's going to be on board or whatever. I'm talking about nobody that's got their own little personal agenda. Not that. Them kind of people. You know what I mean? Them kind of people that's really, what they say, all skin folk and kin folk. Not them. You got other agendas. Move your butt on to the side. Leave them out the way. So that right there is what gives me hope. Not none of these, these nothing burgers and these symbolic statues and whatever else they got going on, whatever. That don't give me no hope at all. So, but you feel the way you want to feel about it. That's your thoughts and opinions about it as well, in the comment section. Times Square. I call it Square Times right now because that's exactly what it is to me. It's very square for them to do that. I feel some kind of way behind it. Very offended. But I want your guys' thoughts in the comment section. How you guys feel about Sister statue that is located in Times Square? Do you guys feel hope from that? Or do you guys feel offended by it? Or you just don't give a damn like me? I'm offended as well too. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be my time for tonight. And I thank you all for your love and your attention, your adulations to the show. And I want to say, you guys continue to show your love and support and adulations. Make sure you go to my social media platforms on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. Go and hit that like button, follow, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell as well. And let everybody know exactly where to go for nice fire content. I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. And you don't want to miss none of my shows. All right. So that being said, I'm the one on Miss Know It All Reactions.
He's got his own money. And baby, when I tell you he's got his own money, I mean the boy has got his own money.
You understand me, you smooth talking son of a bitch? Do you understand?
And I got to put my cape on for you. Let's get it.
All of my life, yes, all of my life, I've waited for you.